wants to find out they're about to be investigated by the IRS. Even the most brilliant entrepreneurs, very successful businessmen, or individuals. You don't want to go down that road. But if such is the case for you, the first thing you want to do is find an attorney, and a good one at that. And not just any attorney. You want to find a good tax attorney that can understand what that's all about. Let me suggest Brown PC, a Fort Worth, Texas-based group, and all they deal with is tax issues.
We're a nationwide practice. We've got clients throughout the United States and even abroad. Our focus is narrow. It's tax controversy and tax litigation, including criminal tax work, IRS audits and appeals, civil litigation in the U.S. Tax Court, the U.S. District Court, and the U.S. Court of Claims, and high-level IRS collection cases.
I think we have a real unique firm in that other enrolled agents like myself have had a number of years with IRS. Everyone here has worked at least 25 years with IRS, has a real good understanding of how IRS works, the different aspects of IRS, because we all worked in different levels of the Internal Revenue Service. And also working with Larry. Larry used to be a Department of Justice attorney, so he had the experience on the inside with the government, who came out as a defense attorney, has a good understanding of both sides, how that works. We have a number of young attorneys here, are CPAs as well as attorneys. And being CPAs, they do have a very good understanding of financial matters and how the IRS works and all, so that's a big plus. And we do have a lot of cases here that are more involved or complex than a lot of the normal firms that represent taxpayers.
I work on cases that we have here pending, criminal cases, mostly pre-indictment cases. Our clients under investigation, usually by the DOJ, IRS. Maybe they've gotten a notice from the IRS, or even it's already gone so far as a grand jury subpoena, federal grand jury subpoena, and they've come in and hired us, and we're doing pre-workup of the case and trying to collect facts, go through bank statements. That's sort of the things that I do.
One of the new practice areas that we work in is the area of offshore accounts. It has never been illegal for a U.S. taxpayer to have an offshore account. The requirement is that you claim any interest or capital gains on your tax return. You disclose the existence of the account on your tax return. For years, U.S. taxpayers have felt confident, not disclosing and not paying tax on the gains. This became a real focus for the Department of Justice and the IRS about 2 or 3 years ago. So we represent a lot of taxpayers with regard to voluntarily disclosing the existence of not previously disclosed offshore accounts. One of the other areas, the dip in the economy, has caused a lot of business owners who haven't turned over to the IRS the monies that they withheld from employee paychecks. They've used that as extra operating capital. So we've represented a number of clients in trust fund recovery penalty matters.
Every day when you come to work, it's a challenge. It's not like the same old thing day in and day out, which some places it's just, you know the same type of case, you know how it's going to turn out. But here, the cases are very interesting, higher complex, like I say, all around the country. We represent clients with various tax problems, and it's just a challenge because everything is new when you come to work, and you draw on your prior experience with the IRS to help you solve that problem that that individual has.
It's all white-collar crimes that we do here, and it's pretty specialized. With the tax investigation, IRS is involved. They're usually the ones investigating. Sometimes maybe the FBI or other types of federal agencies investigating crimes. And it's really important that as soon as a client maybe even suspects that they're being investigated, that they come in, because there aren't a lot of firms who specialize in this type of tax criminal defense. Larry's niche is more in the tax realm, and people being investigated for tax evasion or tax fraud, and that might stem from another type of crime, but then the IRS becomes involved, and it's now not only mail fraud or wire fraud, it's also a failure to report, or even a failure to file.
Treasury. On the criminal side, it's more about criminal convictions and the deterrent effect that a press release following a conviction and a prison sentence will get. As you know, our tax system in the U.S. is one of voluntary compliance, so the IRS can't go out and audit or criminally prosecute every offender. What they seek to do on the criminal side is get convictions and press releases that will get those that are in the process of self-assessing to be extra careful.
Here, We work a number of different type cases, like maybe a collection case in the morning, it may be at noon you get hired on an examination audit. In the afternoon someone may contact you about a criminal matter, he's got a criminal case. A lot of variation, it's different things, and also what I really enjoy is getting to meet the clients and getting to know them and seeing that they're really, for the most part, really decent people, and you enjoy meeting them and you want to do a good job for them.
One of the interesting things about this area of the practice is that the IRS and the Department of Justice will change their focus from time to time. I think of this offshore account area. We're seeing a lot of criminal prosecutions come out of that area. One of the new things now is audits of lawyers. The IRS has determined that that's fruitful ground to seek revenue for the Treasury. On the civil side, I believe that's the primary motivator for the government is additional revenue for the Treasury. On the criminal side, it's more about criminal convictions and the deterrent effect that a press release following a conviction and a prison sentence will get. Our tax system in the U.S. is one of voluntary compliance, so the IRS can't go out and audit or criminally prosecute every offender. What they seek to do on the criminal side is get convictions and press releases that will get those that are in the process of self-assessing to be extra careful.
They're not criminals, but they're being treated like that perhaps by the IRS, and so they just come in here and we're able to talk with them, and they know that someone's on their team and someone supports them and someone is going to stand up and fight for them. And that's one of my favorite things about here is you really get to see how you can make a difference in their lives. They don't deal with this every day, and it's a huge stress to know that you're under investigation, and the fact that they can come in here and be treated with respect, that's what I like.
The ultimate goal on both sides is to get to the truth. However, as an agent, you were more cynical, I guess. Every time you saw something, you would look and wonder what the reason is for it, and generally agents are, very suspicious, and they're going to look for more of a sinister spin to whatever happens. And here we get to meet the clients, which we didn't as IRS special agents. It was just like the person was almost like a widget out there that we investigated. I mean, you didn't really see them as a person, you saw them as a case to make, or not make if you couldn't. But here you get to meet the people, to understand them, to see some of the things that they did where you can understand would be suspicious from an agent standpoint. You understand what they're telling you, and it's not as bad as what you would think it would be when you work for the government.
And for our clients, it's all on the line. Freedom, net worth, reputation, etc. There's no bigger rush for me than to be trusted by a client with the most important of his or her affairs, and to bring our significant skill sets and experience to bear, and to do everything we can to achieve the best result for a client. That makes it all worth it.
If you happen to be in trouble with the law, you want to make certain you find the right law firm. But if it's a tax issue that you're dealing with, you need to find the right tax attorney. You're going to be fighting the IRS and the U.S. government. So make sure you've got somebody that's knowledgeable, experienced, and has a great deal of wisdom with them. And such is the case when you go to Brown PC. It's a national firm, but it's based in Fort Worth, Texas, hometown feel. And they'll get the job done for you because all they deal with is tax issues.